Alright guys, working on my window regulator for my 80 Regal here. This thing drove me insane. You go to roll the window down or up. Down was actually fine, up was what sucked. You get about a half a turn with the window cranking and lock up, so you have to back it off a hair and then go half a turn, back it off. So it took forever. Looking at, I took apart this part that your window crank actually fits on. It just has 3 rivets in it, so I drilled those out. Looking at the gear on this, there's no bad spots in this gear, and the regulator arm itself, the teeth are just fine on it as well. So what I got to noticing on this thing, I thought I had another set of manual doors here, but I don't. They're power, so it ain't gonna do me any good. But anyway, so I kind of rigged something up here, and I think it'll work just fine. But run you through here. If you can see that brass sleeve right here, I cut a piece to where it actually fits in there, and it basically takes the slack out of the shaft on this, because you could get it all in there and you could move the shaft up and down inside this, so that brass sleeve takes the slack out of it. So when you put it in there, it's a nice little firm fit there. And then once I did that, I stuck this up there and held it up there where it needs to go, and you can move the shaft in and out a little bit. So that's not helping the cause any. So what I did was I dug through my washer bin and I found a little washer that fits that shaft. And that actually fits down inside there like that. And then this gear has a little arm on it like that that goes up in that. So then when you do that, put it up there, there's no more slack in it. So anyway, it's a good thing I put a marking line on there to know where it comes apart at. So anyway, when I held this up there a while ago, you could grab this and move it in and out. So that would cause wear tremendously, actually. So now it has no more slop, and it's setting flat up here against the regulator like it should be. So I got my rivets out and my rivet gun out, and I don't have the rivets I need. I need short ones. And so I ended up finding some little Allen buttons and some nylon lock nuts. So that's how I'm going to attach it. There's plenty of room. Pretty snug fit. I didn't want those holes, really large on that. These are 832 little button heads, and it's all stainless. It's just stuff I have here. I have a lot of stainless steel stuff here, and I get this stuff at Lowe's. This little stuff, you get them in a little 3-pack. But it'll take an 11/32 wrench on the back side. So if you've got a G-body window regulator, this would be a neat little fix. I'll show you that brass tube. I got it at my local hardware store. They always, over by the steel and aluminum little sheets and tubes and sticks of steel and stuff, they always have a little bin of aluminum and brass. And this is a K&S Metals. That's just a brass tubing, but it's thin walled. I took this shaft piece with me down there, and I found that it went in there perfectly. So that was the one I needed. This is 8139. The 8140 was too big, and the 8138 was too small. So this is pretty much all that was left. Anyway, this is real time. You're gonna see if this actually works or not. I probably should have put a little grease on the back of that, but I'll glob some grease on the gear and it'll work its way up in there. And it is hard to see in here. Okay, there we go. 11/32 wrench. When's the last time you used one of those? Bear with me here. I know this is pretty much about like watching paint dry. This is real time. We're going to see if it actually works. I never did look to see if they made that that shaft piece new. for a A or G body. I'm sure they're probably, that shaft piece is probably the same as a lot of GM vehicles from the 70s and 80s, I would just imagine, but I don't know for sure. I think there's a little window in there. Golly. This one is really hard to see. Tighten that one. I don't think I did. I did not. I don't know why that is spinning like that. Allen buttons is the only thing I have here that's 832, like a machine screw. So now I have to use it. I would rather have had Phillips. It would have been a lot easier. Then I'd have used my little electric impact. It'd actually been better if I'd have just had some damn rivets, but I'm not going back downtown. All right, here we go. Let's see if this damn thing will work. Oh, nice. Very nice. Oh, I love it. So I think that brass tubing was, I don't know, $3, $4 or something. And of course, I probably got more in stainless hardware there than anything. It's just all I had here for a machine's type screw, you know. But before, when you'd have it rolled down just fine. When you go to roll it up, you'd get halfway and it'd stop. You'd have to back it up a little bit and then do it again halfway and then back it up. So it's quite the pain in the butt. So that worked just fine. So I'll put some grease on that gear. Now I have a fixed window regulator. I'd say it's probably under, under $10, being as the hardware I use is probably the most expensive thing I used. Anyway, rivets would have been 10 times faster, but I didn't have the ones I needed. Anyway, that's how you fix a window regulator in a G-body. It's manual. Pretty cheap and easy. It's $81.39 is the number. I know it's got to be not the only G-body in the world that is doing that. And you drive it long enough, having to roll your window up and down, and you have to take that much time to roll a window up. I'm a pretty impatient guy, so that would have drove me insane. But I used 832 hardware. And anyway, done deal.